Hi guys, my name is Baradante, and welcome back to The Second Witness, horror game character concept design. Now, this time we're in Blender, and this is not our grandma yet, but last time we worked on this concept right here, and this is what we came up with the assistance of AI using the website called DALL-E Mini, which is now renamed to Crayon. And I don't care. So we pretty much have a grandma with a very special looking arms, face, and definitely chest. But today I want to use this idea and whatever the realistic and not particularly my visual library kind of parts of this concept and apply them on the 3D shape. Thinking about how I would apply all these details and ideas in a solid, more expressive, maybe more creepy and dynamic shape of the character overall. So today we're thinking on the 3D shape. We're doing a 3D sketch. And before that, I also went through a few different websites. So this is from Midjourney. The sentence was like, a creepy smiling grandma with the eyes of an octopus. I don't know why, but AI seems to think that octopus eyes are actually having like round irises, when really they're these rectangular shapes. The way the first witness had actually wasn't my idea to use the octopus eyes wording. I actually had a little chat with Saverick about using AI to generate stuff. He used this word that this is octopus eyes, which is actually pretty close, I think. So we have this, which is pretty fun. I guess we could find some cool ideas around this. Then, yeah, I went back to Crayon and also played around with wording of like using eyeballs of an octopus and just the creepy grandma face, and some of the results are really insane. And yeah, also I tried looking for a huge hole in a chest of a creepy smiling grandma, but this really didn't work. It pretty much looks like tearing in a piece of paper mostly. I think it's probably because we're hitting the certain censorship inside of the AI engine, because they really want to avoid any kind of gore or super like brutal stuff, because otherwise it would be all over all the results. So they have to cut it out completely. And finally, one more result for just the creepy smiling grandma with her. Also, I made a typo. That's probably why things went a bit wrong. Her eyeballs are replaced with octopus eyeballs. Damn, that face is so nuts. Alright, so let's actually start sculpting in Blender. I'll drop all of our pictures right here. Yeah, one at a time, I guess. Now before I start, a quick word from this video sponsor Wingfox. They're running this new cool bundle promotion for leveling up your digital painting skills, beginner to advanced. And it's pretty much focused on character creation, drawing the human figure, and it also has one course dedicated to the natural landscape background painting. So it's pretty much covering all sorts of the most popular directions for the beginner artists that can really boost your skill in terms of, you know, building the shape, composition, working with colors, working with the character design. So the way it works, you pretty much add any 2 courses from this set of 8 courses right here. So you select these 2 and you get a 66% discount just like that. So it's a pretty good deal and a good selection for purchasing a nice bundle of skill boosting videos. So make sure to check it out. The link is in the video description. Also, Wingfox is running this cool holiday sale right now. It has this Explore the Metaverse theme, and there's a whole bunch of 3D courses in here about character creation, as well as 2D courses for character design, but also stuff like Unreal Engine 5 courses and Unreal Engine 4 courses as well. So yeah, anything to create your metaverse things for games and whatever. Pretty cool deal. And you have these huge discounts. The more you spend, the more you save. And of course, don't forget to use these codes considering the price of your purchase. You can find the codes and the link in the video description as well. Now back to the video. So I'm planning to be using probably 2 separate meshes in this concept. Of course, at first we'll start with changing the shape of this big and strong man's body, because we need an old grandma shape that we can see right over there. So that will be one shape, and another shape I'll be using just for all the dress. Maybe also the hair will be separate. It will also make it easier to transform that into the final mesh later on. So let's go ahead and start doing that. By the way, this big strong man shape, some of you guys asked me about it. I found it a long time ago on some free website. Then I modified it a lot, you know, changed the anatomy and stuff like that, remeshed it a few times. And yeah, I've had it pretty much forever. So yeah, if you're working with characters, make sure you have some kind of dummy to start with. It doesn't really even have to have like toes and even fingers maybe, although fingers do save time, but toes, you can really skip those in your base shape. Or you can make it like you can easily get rid of them if you don't want to have them. I mean, how easy is it really? I guess kind of like that, and then you just... Oh right, Dintopo doesn't do that. We need to legit remesh. And yeah, that kind of stuff can happen. So yeah, just inflate, make sure they intersect, and you pretty much have this. Because I think we're gonna be using some kind of shoes. We have a barefoot grandma right here, but I think a better design would be to have some kind of careful little grandma's shoes. So I'm gonna start with making her shorter. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff. And yeah, right here we have a very important distinctive feature that needs to be like very exaggerated in this regard, because this was like the very important detail in many references where it really goes very much sideways, like things just travel to the armpit with age apparently or something like that. And you know, with many examples from just your memory about some very weird grandmas, this whole thing is really just falling apart like in different areas. Not to bash on an old lady or anything, but I'm looking for this kind of stuff. I need to exaggerate that kind of thing, something we see in real life. We need to have more of that. Yeah, also I'm gonna go with these, this kind of arms. So yeah, that kind of shape's pretty cool. Really important to repeat the shape of kind of an arthritis. Man, this is incredible. But yeah, this kind of arthritis, whatever kind of fingers, that's like a big deal. Some of you guys in the comments mentioned that like you really should repeat the arthritis kind of fingers. So yeah, we'll be doing that probably. Not too much. I don't want it to be like the arthritis old lady or anything, but some kind of hints, you know, just generally shape something about the proportions of the hand being affected by a disease like that. Alright, we have a two-dimensional grandma right now. Well, not really, but on this side it's still a very strong big man. So let's fix that. I'm looking up some overweight female body types on iPad right here to have some more ideas. I mean, to make it clear, I don't want to have like again, a heavily diabetic kind of old lady. It's just, you know how it is with old people, all kinds of things attack at the same time, and you have your unique shape. As I mentioned in the previous video, I really don't want to skip on all this detail and all this realistic old lady look and go for the basic skinny, creepy old lady, which is super lame and deadbeat. I think the neck altogether should be like shorter. I think it has something to do with like the spine bones or spine discs getting thinner with age, so it's just that it gets shorter because the spine guess, shorter in a way. Yeah, kind of like that. Seems like ankles usually keep being thin no matter what. I mean, not always. I've definitely seen very thick legs at the bottom, but yeah, this looks right. Also smaller feet like this. So yeah, I'm keeping the best part for the last. I wanna do some of that chest hole in the end, using the din topo probably. We gotta make sure we do the hole before we add any kind of dress to coordinate the design better. Yeah, I think I found my grandma, kind of at this look. Now let's try working with din topo. Let's see, I don't think I need these as much as our main design. So I really like the idea of this complexity of the hole. Like, it's sort of round at first, but then it turns into this different, more of a narrow vertical wall. Very Freudic and complex and cool looking. Brings some associations in mind from some kind of realistic holes of like a sea creature or whatever, among other things. So I'm gonna keep it symmetrical so far. We'll also work on making it asymmetrical, like even the body shape is asymmetrical in many cases. Not the pose, but the body shape. But right now I need to solve bigger things. I actually wanted to make this whole a lot more interesting. So let's see how that goes. Because as I'm looking at the character as a whole, the whole needs to, you know, really affect it better. Topology rake. Automatically align edges to the brush direction to generate cleaner topology and define sharp features. What? That is really cool, no? Look at that, it's like in the direction of the brush stroke, it restructurizes things. That's kinda sick. So if I make a brush stroke along the whole, well, it's not gonna make a perfect loop, of course, but it'll play a bit better, I guess. What does it look like here? Ray traced. Nice, very rectangular hole I got there. Wow, this whole topology rake really makes it look kinda cool. Like, you can see how it's not very high poly, but it also seems like these polygons actually follow the features, so it looks very nice. Kind of like if it's a handmade topology a little bit. Well, not quite, but it's kind of getting there. It's a very complex dilemma in here. Like, I thought I would go into 3D and really make, you know, like the whole body being shaped up by this hole, and it will be really like a different thing. But if I do that, we're so missing out on, you know, the old lady look. And I really want it, so I think we need to really focus a lot more on just maybe increasing the size. And I kind of pulled this forward a little bit, and I think generally that will be enough unless I come up with something more. Let's add hair. Oh yeah, that's great. So we have this very special design. I think I'm gonna go without symmetry right away on the hair. Okay, I'm going to bed. Whoa, that was some good sleep. Now back to work. Now I'm thinking to add a little bit of the bigger features on the face, or like the frontal part of the head. So let's go ahead and do this massive jaw. So the eyeballs should be kind of holes that we'll put these big foreign eyeballs into later on, and that'll be adapted shape. Oh my god. I don't think we'll need a lot of detail on the ears with this witness, just because there will be a much bigger play with hair. I just looked to the right trying to see the references, but they're to the right in this universe, not the real one. A thinner nose bridge I think will be good for this old lady. I think we had like a pretty balanced feature like that, and here, yeah, it was very stretched. In this case, we can go a bit different. We have like a very rotten, kind of like fell inwards type of the eye area, so maybe we'll go with that. And mostly, like, the attention will be brought to the eye area with like this darker blue and just rotten color around the eyeballs. Something like that. Don't wanna get stuck on it too much, even though it's fun. Let's do the dress and maybe some kind of shoes as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing as with the hair. I'll go with the M shortcut to get to masking, and I'll use symmetry. I think it's still relevant on the rest of the body. So I think we're gonna tear the dress one way or another, or maybe stretch it downwards, showing the actual stretching. But I do need to keep in mind what I've learned from the first witness is that we need to first model the shape of this outfit without any stretchings, and then add it with either simulation or the cloth brush, just so you would get the full surface of the actual cloth that you need with exactly appropriate size of the wrinkles. And if you add any texture to that cloth later, it will be properly distributed on that topology, because, you know, there's enough surface everywhere. And in here, there was a lot of problem with making sure this texture is following the shape. So I think this will be good as a base. Now we go ahead and definitely lower this thickness to, let's say, 1 centimeter thick, and extract that mask. So there we have it. Now I'll turn on Dintopo again. Great. Yeah, the length of the dress I would definitely prefer keeping like this to show the veiny thrombose kind of legs. So that'll be dope. Maybe we'll make it work like this because it's kind of torn, same as in here, or maybe it's just a shorter dress. I feel like an old lady would choose a longer dress, but maybe not always, you know? So right now I'm gonna shape it into the final form, but of course when I'll be making the real thin version of the cloth with the proper approach, with like proper topology, that's where I'll do it correctly. But right now I'm just shaping it right into the final position, just because this is a 3D sketch. We need to see where we want to go. I know why I decided to make such a thick cloth. I guess because my big manipulations wouldn't accidentally mess it up. Now, a little bit like there's this middle thin part, whatever it's called, right? We need to make sure it's there. It's like the only actual detail of the dress that makes things defined, you know? So that's where we need to go with this thinner kind of thing. So I'll slightly define more of an, I don't know if this is arthritis or what it would be, but more of a like bumpy kind of feet to make sure that we don't put like a tiny girl little accurate shoes on her feet. It needs to be something that's pretty big, adjusted for the big volume. So yeah, I'm guessing something like this. Okay, Trumbo's legs. Thrombosis. Oh my god. Oh. Good thing I'm not capturing the screen from the iPad. Oh. So I'm making this leg a bit swollen around this whole bone thing, so it'll look pretty different from another foot. Alright, made the dress work a bit more, added some tiny details on it here and there. Now let's add the shoes with the same old method. Ugh, that's already looking traumatizing to suddenly see that. I remember the similar effect was in Visage, which is a horror game that I played on my gaming channel. Now that's too much actually, right? It's kind of going like this. Kind of like the Queen of England kind of thing, right? Oh, these are comfy. These look very nice. Let's actually go ahead and immediately all together smooth like this. And that's almost the final result already. Okay, so I know this tool, if it works exactly the way it does in ZBrush, Line Project, which is like, it's something that you use to cut off perfectly any kind of shape to a flat surface. But what's interesting, if you do it not like this, but the opposite, it's supposed to like drag to this line instead of cutting to it. Yeah, like that. That's what I meant. I'm literally looking at the Queen of England shoes as a reference. I mean, they're too cool, but I know where to stop. Alright. So let's fix this stuff a little bit, even though it's not really important. Oh my god, that hole looks okay. I wanna like open it a bit more. It's kind of like not in here, but inside. It's definitely like it's opening wider at the bottom. That's something I also wanna have. Also, let's turn off symmetry, because it's definitely time to see what we can do with all this. Oh man, asymmetry is so important, like, it was a completely different thing. Sculpting in Cycles Render is fun, with like ray-traced shadows immediately. It's a shame it only works when Dintopo is off, because if you change the vertices of the mesh, it needs to be like reloaded. You have to re-enter cycles for that. All right. I like the idea of positioning the eyes very much not evenly, like one is lower and deeper, another one is sticking out more and a bit higher, which is funny. Like, I was kind of following the concept generated by AI, but that's literally the same positioning of the eyeballs on this guy. This one's also sticking out more, this one's less and a bit lower. Very similar. Maybe I'll make this one closer to the nose bridge, and this one will be further away, so things would be different at least. Also, the concept has a little bit of this, what is it called, like the rabbit's lip, or I don't know in English the name for it, but when there's a little split in the upper lip. Alright, I think we're done here. Pretty good understanding on all the body parts and general shape of everything. I like how the legs look like the grandma's legs and all that. Like, the arms are nuts. They're kind of too symmetrical right now, but honestly, maybe I'll just go with it, just to make it like this is the way she's changed. It's not just the disease. Slight asymmetry. Never hurts, of course. So yeah, there we go. Looking forward to adapting it and changing all the features, working on the face, working on the arms. Hope in the next episode of this character I'll already have a lot of the retopology and stuff like that done, so we would be working on something that's about the actual character design to move things a bit faster and focus on the actual development of the story. But yeah, tell me guys what you think. Tell me if you have any ideas about what to maybe improve somehow. But for now, this is it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! That hole is going to be great.